Now moving into RBI. Now RBI, as you all know, it is the apex banking authority of our country. It is also called as the Central Bank of India, Reserve Bank of India, and its functions are very important for your examinations. Please have a look into it, and please do study this topic, because it has repeatedly come in both prelims and mains examinations in one or the other way. You might get question like, what are the functions of RBI, or why is it called like a banker's bank or lender of last resort? Why is RBI called as a lender of last resort? Or being the lender of last resort, what is the function of RBI? So such things can come up, such questions can come up, but functions of RBI is like the most important topics. If you list down the most important topics of Indian economy, one will be functions of RBI. So please study this very thoroughly, because there are only 5 or 6 functions of RBI, but each and every function is very important, and you need to have a thorough idea of what these functions are. And this is specifically given in NCERT 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th textbooks. Fundamental knowledge, it's easily covered in the NCERT textbooks. You can always go back and refer those textbooks if you are not able to understand it on an advanced level. So to understand the foundational knowledge about the functions of RBI, you can always refer the NCERT textbooks. And there may be questions like, under which commission set up the Reserve Bank of India, or under which commission, or on the basis of dash commission the Reserve Bank of India was set up in the country. So for that the answer is Hilton-Young Commission. So it was the Hilton-Young Commission which gave recommendation for setting up an apex bank in the country, and Reserve Bank is set up based on Hilton-Young Commission. That's why I've kept it in a bold letter. That is also very important. So what is Hilton-Young Commission and what did it say? Such things may not be so much of importance, but you need to know this name, Hilton-Young Commission. It's based on this committee's or this commission's recommendation that Reserve Bank of India was established in our country. Now, what are the functions of RBI? What are the functions of RBI? So the very first function of RBI, it's not necessary that you need to study in this order itself, but I'll just cover up the most important, then following the other functions. So the primary function, or one of the main functions, or the major function of RBI is monetary authority, is to establish a monetary authority in our country. Now, what does that mean? What is the meaning of monetary authority? It means RBI is responsible for implementing monetary policies in the country, regulating the money supply within the country, fiscal policies, etc. So implementation of monetary policies is done by the RBI in our country. And it also it's not just implementing that monetary policy. RBI should also be monitoring the monetary policy. So implementation and monitoring of the monetary policies in India is done by the RBI, which is one of its primary functions. And monetary authority also means the RBI has to ensure that price stability is there in the country depending on the economic growth. So there shouldn't be a high price variation or fluctuation, because it will affect the people as well as the organizations inside the economy, and it might affect the economic growth of the country also. So somewhere around it has to stabilize the pricing also, or price stability, ensure that there is price stability in the country. So as implementing monetary policies, monitoring those policies, and ensuring price stability. These three comes under monetary authority function of the RBI. And second function of RBI is that it is the regulator as well as the administrator of financial system. So whatever financial transactions and whatever financial dealings are happening inside Indian economy is actually regulated and administered by RBI. No banking organization is supposed to do any kind of activity which is not mentioned by the RBI, and there no authority or no person or no organizations can conduct any kind of financial transactions or financial dealings inside the country without the knowledge and approval of the RBI. So this RBI, or the Reserve Bank of India, actually sets up the policies and procedures of banking operations, how a bank should be operating, what is the meaning of commercial bank, and if it's a commercial bank, what all documents it has to maintain, what all processes it has to follow. So such kind of operating systems. Same way, if it is a cooperative bank, how much should it lend to the people, or how much decision making is done by the cooperative society which is governing it, etc. All these policies, procedures, and operational efficient, things for improving the operational efficiency of banking system within the country. The RBI acts as the regulator and the administrator of the financial system, and this includes like merging, nationalization, or these days in India, it's very hard to find a bank failing. Initially, and all, like 2-3 decades before, there were issues where private sector or some kind of public sector banks collapsed, and people lost all their investments, etc. So right now there is no such happenings in the country, because the RBI supports this falling bank, and it allows in the merger and acquisition of banks. So such kind of regulation and administration is done by the RBI, and it sets up how much the repo rate and the reverse repo rate, which we will be covering in the fiscal policies and next sessions of banking. What is repo, what is reverse repo, etc. We'll be covering. But just understand, you would have heard this term, repo rate and the reverse repo rate. Setting up of repo and reverse repo, which manages the interest regulations within the economy, and expansion. If a bank has to expand, or if a bank has to merge with another bank, permission or approval should be got from the RBI. So such things are all part of this financial system administration and regulation. If an organization has to set up, or if a person has to set up a new bank, they cannot do like just like that. They need to get the approval and permission from the RBI to set up such a bank. So anything which is governing the financial system in India is actually regulated as well as administered by the Reserve Bank of India. And as you all know, whatever currency that we have is actually issued by the RBI. Except for coins, there is a difference in coins and lower denominations, but the distribution of coins and currencies inside the Indian economy is done by the RBI. And it is responsible for providing the public with sufficient amount. Like in the economy, there needs to be sufficient supply of money that is regulated and that is ensured by the RBI. Like how much of currency should be regulating, which all currencies should be regulating, and which all currencies should not be regulating, and what all measures it has to take to ensure quality of the currencies. And that's also very important. Being the issuer of currency, RBI also has to ensure that whatever currencies are being circulated in the Indian economy is of good quality, which means, as you all know, we can't transact using a torn currency note. So if a currency note is torn, nobody is going to accept it, but it can be returned back to the banking, any kind of banking organized, any kind of commercial banks in our nearest location, and they will give back the same denomination money or the currency in a good quality to us. So this is all regulated by or ensured by the RBI. RBI has set up all these rules that whatever money is being issued inside the country is sufficient for the population, and it is also of good quality. And it issues and exchanges currencies as well as coins. Destruction of currency is also in the hands of RBI. Like for example, if you remember demonetization, there was withdrawal of 1,000 rupee notes in India 4-5 years back. So the destruction of those currency notes is actually done by the RBI. So it's not just printing and distributing the money. Destruction of the currency notes or coins is also done by the RBI on a time-to-time basis. So if one note or if a currency note or if a coin should not be circulated within the Indian economy, RBI has to take specific measures of doing that. And once that rule is passed, like for example, from tomorrow onwards, 1,000 rupee notes will not be circulated in the Indian economy. If there is a rule, then RBI has to take all measures to ensure that such rule is practically implemented within the country. Now, a catch here is that, see, 1 rupee note and lower denomination coins are actually not printed by the RBI. RBI only distributes it. The printer of our rupee 1 currency note and lower coins is actually Government of India. Now, this is where people usually get confused. So you should understand that RBI prints currency notes which are more than 1 rupee value, and if it's a 1 rupee note and coins or lower denomination coins like 1 rupee and lower denomination coins, it is actually printed by, it's called minting. The term is called minting. It's done by the Government of India directly. For all other denominations above 1, whether coins or currency notes, both minting and distribution is done by the RBI. So that is one thing that you need to note when you study that RBI is the issuer of currency. Now, these 3 functions we have looked into. There are 3 other more functions for the RBI, which is managing foreign exchange. So RBI is the authority in the country which has to manage the foreign exchange. Now, what is this managing foreign exchange means? It is like setting the, one thing is setting the exchange rates for Indian rupee against another currency. So, for example, if the value of Indian currency is going too low, or if the currency value has to be increased, RBI takes a special role and it sets up the exchange rate. Like it takes several measures to do that. It is not like it just writes or it just announces that this will be the exchange rate, but it has to take measures and it maintains a good exchange rate for Indian rupee, not for other currency notes. For Indian rupee, the exchange rate setting is done by the RBI. So that is one way how it is managing the foreign exchange, and it monitors all the foreign exchange transactions also, what is happening in India. So RBI is the sole authority which checks what all foreign transactions are happening within into the country. So whether it is from an external organization, whether it is an illicit trading, or is it some foreign exchange transaction happening for which will affect the national security of the country, or is it from normal individuals, or is it corporate transfers? So whatever foreign money is coming into our country is actually taken care by the RBI. So it monitors all the foreign exchange transactions in the country. It also manages the foreign exchange reserves. Now, when we were studying about the 1991 economic reforms, there was a special area where we mentioned that foreign exchange reserve creation was very important for India. And from 91 onwards, this creation of maintenance of foreign exchange reserve is what has taken the country forward, like one of the measures. Now, who is managing these foreign exchange reserves? It is the RBI. So it's based on many things like exports and if some other transactions are happening. So based on that, foreign exchange reserve is also maintained by the RBI. And it deals with buying and selling of foreign currencies also. RBI has a special limit, like how much of foreign currency should be circulating within the economy and how much of Indian rupee should be going outside the country. So it intervenes in the market by buying and selling foreign currencies to maintain stability of the rupee. So first function under managing foreign exchange was to setting up of exchange rates and ensuring price stability. In earlier function, there was a term called price stability. So there is this buying and selling of foreign currency, which it does to maintain stability of Indian rupee. Now, if the Indian rupee value is going very low, like for example, for $1, if it reaches 100 or 200, it's not actually good for the economy because the value of currency is going down. So, in such cases, the RBI will intervene and it will take measures to maintain the value of the Indian currency. And it does not permit any bank to purchase dollars from the RBI and speculate it in the exchange market, which is the capital or the stock market and interbank market also. So, there is no permission. RBI has to manage the foreign exchange by ensuring that no bank is purchasing dollars from the RBI and speculating it, like taking dollars from the RBI and speculating into the exchange market and the interbank market, because that will affect the economy, or that will even destroy the economy. So, managing foreign exchange reserves are done through these 6 activities by RBI. And finally, 2 functions. It's the lenders of last resort and it is the bankers bank. So lender of the last resort, whatever issue happens, like for any organization or the government, if it is facing any financial crunch, and if any banks inside the country are facing any kind of financial crunch or it is facing some kind of issues, they can approach the RBI and they will lend money. The RBI will lend money to the government, to the organizations or banking institutions within the country. So it is called as the lender of last resort. Now, this part you can actually learn better from the NCERT textbooks, but make a note, questions have come. Why is RBI called the lenders of last resort? Due to what reasons RBI is called as the lender of last resort in India? So you need to have a thorough knowledge of the points to write this exam question. And if it is for the prelims, you need to have a thorough understanding of this point, because you will get options and the most appropriate one you will have to select. So identify and understand why RBI is called the lender of last resort. Main point is that whether it is the government or individuals or entities or any other banking institutions or other kind of entities inside India, whenever they face any kind of issue or liquidity crunch, they can approach the bank, this Apex Bank, and it will help them in whatever area required. And it is also the bankers bank. Now, what does bankers bank means? Oh, as individuals, if we need to maintain an account, we approach the bank. We approach a commercial bank. Now, what if this commercial banks and other banks require a bank account? That is actually maintained in the RBI. So, RBI acts as the bankers bank. For banking organizations, if they want to save some money or keep some reserves or get money from RBI, so that banking transactions, where will the commercial banks get money from, or where will the cooperative banks get money from? That's all from RBI, because of which it is also called as the bankers bank. I'm not elaborating on these 2 points because that might make the topic a bit more confusing, but these 2 points are the most important ones out of the 6. Have a look into that. Search for the information in the textbook that you follow or in our notes itself. And the NCERT sessions that we have covered, check what is the reason RBI is called as the lender of last resort and why it is called as the bankers bank. What makes RBI the bankers bank in India? Such questions you will have to practice. So with this 6 to 7 functions, we come to the end of functions of RBI, which is very important topic. I'm repeating it once again. I am taking a lot of time to explain each function because I know this is very important topic in both prelims and mains examination. That's why I'm taking each and every point and explaining it very well. So please go through this and let me know if you have any doubt. And some of the points which I have not written in this PPT is that RBI was actually established in the year 1935 on April 1st, 1935, and it was actually established in Kolkata. So the first branch or the RBI was set up in Kolkata. But from 1937 onwards, the headquarters or the main center of RBI has moved to Mumbai. So the first place where RBI was set up is Kolkata in the year 1935 on April 1st. And it was formed as per the Banking Regulation Act of 1934 and established on 1st April 1935 at Kolkata. But from 1937 onwards, this regional office or the headquarters of RBI has moved to Mumbai. So you should also understand this point, which I have not mentioned right now in the PPT. So, what is the composition of RBI? Now, RBI is an organization. There needs to be some governing body or who will be running this bank. For like every organization, it has to have its own members. So, who are the members who run RBI, or what is the composition of RBI? This is also important. So it's actually, the RBI is actually controlled by Central Board of Directors. The name is called as Central Board of Directors. It is controlled by Central Board of Directors. Now, what does Central Board of Directors mean? It is a 4-year term member, like consisting of the governor. RBI will have a governor. There will be 4 deputy governors, 2 finance ministry representatives, and 4 directors to represent local boards headquartered at Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and New Delhi. So from each of these headquarters, there will be 1 director. All these people constitute as the Central Board of Directors of RBI. And this Central Board is actually appointed for a term of 4 years. Who is appointing them? It is the Government of India. And specific, we have a ministry also, the Finance Ministry of Government of India is taking care of all these activities. And all this is done as per the RBI Act of 1934. So, who are the members of RBI's Central Board of Directors? It is the governor. Right now, Shaktikanta Das is our governor. So, there is a governor. We have 4 deputy governors in RBI, and 2 members, 2 representatives from the Finance Ministry is also important. And at the same time, the last group consists of directors from each headquarters, like each local board headquarters. From Mumbai, there are 4 local board headquartered at Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and New Delhi. So 1 from each. All these will constitute Central Board of Directors, and these people together take the final decision regarding any function of the RBI. And the executive head is always the governor. So who is heading, who is the executive head of RBI, or who is the heading person of the Central Board of Directors? It is always the governor. And the governor has the signing authority for our currency notes, and you would have already seen whenever the governor changes, and if the currency printing is happening, so that currency will have the name of the latest governor's signature, or name and signature of the latest governor on it. So because the governor is the executive head, so any major measure which is taken by the RBI is headed by its executive head, who is the governor. Right now, Shaktikanta Das, and this governor actually came into the RBI Central Board of Directors in the year 2021. So it's a 4-year term. So possibly by 2025, there will be a re-election of the Central Board of Directors. And governor is accompanied by 4 deputy governors to support the activities and duties and responsibilities of the governor. The RBI Central Board of Directors have 4 deputy governors also. Now, some prominent members or prominent characters you need to know is the first governor of India, Indian RBI, which is like in the British India. It was Sir Osborne Smith, and the first Indian governor was C.D. Deshmukh. So first governor, because it was formed in a pre-independence period. RBI was actually established in 1935, even before the independence. So at that point, the first governor who was appointed in RBI was Sir Osborne Smith, and the first Indian governor was Mr. C.D. Deshmukh. And we had one women deputy governor. So first women deputy governor of RBI was K.J. Uddeshi. Her name was K.J. Uddeshi. And the only prime minister who has been an RBI governor is Dr. Manmohan Singh. So it's very rare, or except for Dr. Manmohan Singh, nobody else has been the Prime Minister of India as well as the RBI governor in separate terms. So the only Prime Minister who who has been the governor of RBI was Dr. Manmohan Singh. So you should understand these points also, because for prelims maybe questions can come up like who was the first women deputy governor of RBI and who was the first Indian governor of RBI, which personality was both a prime minister and governor of India of RBI. So, and who is the current governor of RBI? Such questions can come up in prelims. So for that, understanding these names are also very important. And RBI has zonal offices, and it has 4 zonal offices. One is in New Delhi, another one is in Chennai, the third one is in Kolkata, and Mumbai for the west. So New Delhi is for the northern part of India, Chennai is for the southern part of India, Kolkata for eastern part of India, and Mumbai for western part of India. So in this way, in RBI is having 4 zonal offices. And it also has 19 regional offices and 11 sub-offices right now. So almost all states have one RBI. At least it has 19 regional offices and 11 sub-offices in our country. And it also has 2 training colleges. So where does it train the officers who are being appointed into the RBI? So one is in Reserve Bank Staff College at Chennai, and another one is at College of Agricultural Banking at Pune. So RBI has 2 training colleges also. One is in Chennai and one is in Pune for its officers. This is also important.